All right. Welcome back to RPG Quest, and we are back. Game 286, which is Ephemeral Fantasia on the PS2. How's it going, Zero Dine? How's it going, Dragon Soul? Have a good dinner, Zero Dine. Dragon Soul eating some food. Everybody's eating. I'm hungry. So yeah, back to this game. The Groundhog's Day, the game. It's gonna be fun. Hey Tex, how's it going? Pantsless, yes, always pantsless. How's it going? So yeah, back to this game. So yeah, this game's gonna be fun. One thing I obviously noticed after playing, two loops of this game, the whole Groundhog's Day of the game thing. I definitely set it up. I wanted to set up a schedule so I can kind of track when certain events happen. So if you guys want to keep track of that with me, uh, yeah, it's got a timeline there. I'll be obviously adding to that as time goes on, so I can kind of figure out when certain events happen, try to like go to those events and try to add more characters and kind of things. How many hours did it take to get level 100? Didn't take that long. I mean, I actually over leveled because after I got to level 100, I still needed to, and even that point seemed like it was way overkill. And at that point, I needed to raise my economy, and that raised me to like level 105, 106 or something like that by the time I finished doing that. So I kind of over leveled there. But 50-ish hours, I think. I was averaging about 20 levels an hour. Or an hour. 20 levels like every 10 hours. But I wasn't like absolutely optimizing how I was leveling up. And if I was just grinding as hard as I could probably reduce that by quite a bit. But it was a bit of a slog. But yeah, I don't think you need that high. Like 85, 80, 75 even, it would be very tight probably. Like in mid 80s, probably enough to take him down if you're careful. It was fun. Alright, so yeah, so let's get back into this game. I'm obviously keeping track of all the events. I'm going to be trying to get Rummy and Bagoth this timeline here. I mean, they hang out in the castle from when I went through my previous VODs. They're obviously party members, considering they're all over the manual. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's start the timer. Let's get back into the timeline. There's a couple characters. I mean, there's a lot of there's a couple characters that went through the manual. There's 4 characters that are guaranteed to be characters. There's the this one here. There's the obviously Bagoth and Rummy. There's Kite, which is like a captain dude. We see just once so far. Just when we start the timeline, he's like hanging out at the harbor with like a fish in his hands. And Claire, who the only time we've seen is in the pub, but I can't get to her house because it's always blocked by mysterious force. Maybe we have to do something else before we have access to her. But other characters are probably going to be joining our party. There's Rena, the girl at the inn. There's the magician or magical engineer dude at the castle, Anno, and probably the bandit leader, which we saw only once, promptly died. So I imagine once we get to the bandit place, he'll probably join us or something. Either way. Oh, I've done a lot of just touring around. Like the last couple timelines have been just hanging around town and exploring the town. The town is huge, getting maps, that kind of stuff. I haven't really like tried to expand the story too much in the first couple timelines. Well, the first timeline, I mean, you're just kind of doing whatever the hell you're doing. Second timeline, once you realize like, oh, this thing repeats, and then I just kind of like, just did some more exploring the town. Probably still need to do more exploring, especially the west side of town. I've done a lot of exploration on the east side of town, but not so much on the west side. Still missing this map here. But I think this timeline I'll be concentrating on the castle. Try to explore the castle, try to get that map. Most likely get Rummy and Bagoth into our team. So it's a lot of events that they hang out in, so try to concentrate on those. I'll probably explore this section, especially if I get Bagoth and Rummy. Try to get like maybe this chunk explored. So we'll try to make some progress this timeline. So yeah, let's do this. How's it going, Arthur? Alright, let's put the timeline up. What's the button again to... There. It's like, what's the button again to... Gotta relearn the controls again. Then you stop playing for like a day or two, it just throws everything off. We definitely want this. So 5 o'clock, Rummy should come and visit us. One thing I haven't done, which in the last 2 times, is once we finished the castle, I never went here. We went here the next day, and this guy's like, "Oh, you know, the bands came, stole the money." Which is strange considering it seems like Zell gives us the money. Like, here, I'll give you an advance, and like he hands us something. I figure he's giving us the advance, but maybe. And then we talk to this guy the next day. He's like, "Oh, bandits took the money, and we'll get it to you by the end of the wedding or whatever." But I don't think I've ever visited this place right after. I don't know if they give us enough time, because the meeting at the castle finishes at 6:30 or 7. So if the time, like, it goes to nighttime at 8 o'clock, so might have an hour to run here and see if maybe he gives us money. So I'll have to check that. There's a lot of things I want to try in this. I went through all my VODs previously, just made this whole timeline thing, so with all these events. So there's a lot of places I want to try and visit and all that fun stuff. It's gonna be fun. Lots of fun, lots of fun. Alright, so let's, where should we explore before? Let's go explore the castle, why not? I remember how. If I remember the map more or less. Wait. I thought I was on border. It's weird. What? Oh, it's because we hit noon. I was like, why is there a loading? We just hit noon. Alright. Let's see how it happens if we go to the castle before Rummy comes and picks us up. See if we can get the map. Not sure if it's going to be somewhere, or if somebody's going to give it to us, but... Let's talk to everybody. Yeah, this is being played on my PS2. Pretty much from here on out, the only games I'll be playing on emulation is going to be Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. Everything else is going to be played via real hardware. All my PS1 games, the few that are still left, are being played on PS3, PS2, of course, on PS2, and so on and so forth. And everything's real software as well, so I'm using the original discs. So. Hey, Andron. You know it. Thursday's the best day. How's it going, Distant Fancy? You're at work. You're not gonna miss much. I'm sure you come back and everything will look the same. We'll probably be playing the same days over and over. I guess it goes basement floor up to the 4th floor. Yeah, we gotta explore this castle. This is what we're gonna do mostly of this this timeline, is exploring the castle. And at the same process, hopefully getting Bagoth and Rummy to join us. What makes his rounds? His own room, mess hall, the training center of the barracks, even the seaside observation tower, and demon reactor, and visits all the soldiers. Nice that he cares, but it's a pain to track him down. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I love how there's like freaking encounters in the middle of the castle. Wait, we're still poisoned? How are we still poisoned? Did we literally get poisoned, like, last timeline and never... What? I figured that would, like, I don't know, go away or something. Huh. So, I know, poison continues through timelines. What the fuck? Do I have antidote? Ugh, God, there's controls in this game. I have no antidotes, do I? Well then, this'll be fun. Still have this broken watch, but Claire isn't accessible. Like every time I try to go... Actually, I don't know if I tried accessing her at the beginning of a timeline. I should go try. I think I did last timeline, but I mean I didn't have the watch at that point. I picked it up during that timeline. So we gotta go buy antidotes anyways. So let's go see if Claire is. She's got that mysterious force blocking her thing, which is annoying. So I don't know if we have to do a certain event first to activate her. I mean, she's in the pub at night, but she doesn't say anything to us. The herb merchant is... It's like in that house just to the northwest of here. We'll have to go all the way around though, because this friggin' this town is such a maze. It's such a confusing maze. Yeah, see. So we gotta do some sort of event, I'm sure, to unlock that. So we'll hold off on trying to follow through with her for a while. So this timeline is mainly gonna be concentrated on the castle, so. It's annoying that you have to like press the square button to open up the clock. Then you press it again, go into the menu. Like, should it be just the option of keeping the clock on all the time? Like maybe a menu option. Like, why would you have to press this square button twice to go into the menu? It's really annoying. Konami, never heard of this game before? It's special. It's one of those games either you love or you hate. Well, nobody really loves it, but it's an interesting concept. So, I mean, obviously, spoilers ahead here, but so what happens is you're sent to an island. You're a musician who's also like supposedly a robber. So, yeah, you're coming to this place to case out the joint, and then you meet like some princess is getting married to the dude Zell, who's like totally not Sephiroth or anything. And then yeah, I mean, you go through like 5 days preparing for the wedding ceremony. You're supposed to play the wedding ceremony, blah blah blah. Things happen, and then at the end of the wedding ceremony, time freezes, and Zell is like obviously the big bad. He kind of reverses time to the beginning of the 5 days, and then you kind of do that whole 5 days again. This is the third time I've done the loop. So obviously, every timeline you retain your memories. Nobody else does, except for yourself, the princess, and Zell. Now Zell's not aware that you didn't retain your memories, so you're just basically trying to change things. I guess probably try to get out of the loop, kill Zell or something. So it's a very yeah, exactly. It's like Majora's Mask, you know. It's just that kind of like you keep changing time, you keep going back until you fix whatever you need to fix. So every time you just make some more progress. One thing I've done is I've definitely I've written everything. I've reviewed my VODs. You have to take a lot of notes for this stuff. I've reviewed my VODs and wrote myself an entire timeline, so I know exactly when certain events are going to happen. What loop they happened in, so I can kind of see if I can retrigger them again if I go to the right location at the right time. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of note taking in this one, which is why a lot of people don't really like this game, because it's just one of those games. JRPGs tend to be pretty linear. Usually, you know, you just do things, occasionally talk to NPCs, but it's rare that you have to take a lot of notes, right? In this one, you need to take a lot of freaking notes. So that's why it's not high up on a lot of people's preferred games list. But I'm assuming there's quote unquote unlimited timelines. So I mean, you could just do a few things one timeline, next timeline you can do different things. But I can see a lot of repetition too, because other characters don't remember. So I don't know. I haven't had any other main party members yet, so I don't know what happens with their levels. They lose their levels. There's a party level that goes up and that stays up, so that'll increase everybody's health. So even if individual party members come back in your party at the next timeline at level 1, which they probably will, they still get more health and magic and that because they're now like your party level is higher. So yeah, speedrun of this, if you knew exactly all the events would happen, would be kind of interesting. See how many loops it takes. Like, for me, I'm sure it's going to take a lot of loops because there's going to be a lot of there's a lot of just making a little progress here and there and just kind of, you know, trying to explore a lot, trying to find things, and it's got like an active time battle system, skills that. That's one thing I want to do is try to increase my weapon strength. Hoping I can get that advance that they're supposed to give me. I have a camera in this. Keep a fixed camera most of the time because this dynamic camera. The fixed camera is just so far up. The fixed camera is just nauseating. There's also like an AI system in battle that you can use, but I want to try to learn new skills. You learn new skills by using your old skills. Or miss completely, you know. And your main character supposedly learns skills from the other characters, because of course, I mean, at each timeline they're going to disappear. So that's probably how we learn new skills, because they teach us skills, but then they leave the party because the next timeline they're gone. And you have to get them back again, but at least you learn their skills, so you're still getting some progression, I think. It's very pink. I think it's some alternate dimensions. Obviously, nobody else seems to be noticing that there's enemies, so it's like we're in the castle. It's like some weird alternate dimension thing going on. Should explore the. Let's go to the top-down view. It's gonna be easier just to explore everything. Got a couple hours before the princess comes, or before Rummy comes and gets us. Shows up at 5 o'clock, it was, yeah. Illusion Charm. Oh, there's Anno, yeah, so Anno is another character that I'm sure is going to be joining us at some point. Sorry, we're in the middle of research, don't talk to me, okay? So he makes the sword, so I'm assuming he's going to be a character that can join us. Because he shows up in a couple cutscenes, I mean, he's got a unique name and all that stuff, so he's very likely somebody who can join us, but I'm not going to worry about him right now because we haven't really had any events that he's part of, so I imagine stuff like that has to happen before you can even potentially get him. One person, even Professor Enno, is a huge debt to. That's Professor Jilson, who's founding father of the field of magical science. So you gotta do something with Jilson. The golden pen Professor Enno has is very cool, don't you think? It's a special one made of a kind of item that can only be obtained at one place on this island. So maybe you have to find this item and then maybe potentially get him on your side? I don't know. I should make notes of this stuff. Because all this stuff is probably going to be important. Alright, so it's under Anno, so I'm taking notes on each character. Alright. Student of Professor Jilson. Sweet Home, yeah, that's like the precursor to the Resident Evil games, and good old NES. That one probably would have been cool to play, but yeah, not surprising we never got it stateside, considering, you know, we never got the movie stateside. It's based on that movie. So pen made of gold material, found only one place on the island. Let's go write all these notes down. Is this an awesome game of awesomeness? It is indeed, Spud Muffin. It is indeed. No Grandier parallel trippers. Yeah, I mean, if I did fan translations and that. I mean, first of all, those constantly change, and of course, there's some questionable fan translations, and what the hell? I'm gonna get my ass kicked here. This is gonna hurt. But yeah, I mean, there's always new ones coming out too, so I have to go back, and yeah, it's just figured might as well just concentrate on one. Concentrate on, like, you know, console only English, official English releases, that way I don't have to worry about changing landscape or any of that stuff. And PC RPGs in general aren't necessarily my favorite either, so that's why I decided not to add those, plus I would never be out of the 80s. Speedrun is 5 hours. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't take that many time loops. Because you know exactly what to do and where to go and all that stuff, so you get certain characters, and probably, you know, it'd probably be very easy to do. But that's the thing in this game. Like, it's like Might and Magic games, right? Might and Magic games, there's a lot of information. If you know all that information, you can finish the game a lot quicker because you know exactly where to go, what to do, you know the answers to the puzzles. But the biggest chunk of that game is learning that information. It's trying to figure that information out and, you know, progress the game like that. It's gonna be the same thing in this one. This one's very Western RPG style in that aspect. Which is probably why it doesn't get a lot of love, because it's a JRPG but with, like, Western RPG style kind of progression, where learning the information is the big thing in this one. Party level 9. Metal Slater Glory, Portopia serial murder case. Interesting games. That's one style of game we never really got stateside, is kind of like the horror themed RPGs. We never got that kind of stuff back in the day, which kind of makes sense because, I mean, you know, back then games were kind of aimed more towards kids. So, but of course in Japan that wasn't really a thing. Because they knew adults played this stuff. One of the spare rooms here in this castle is being used by that artist to finish up a portrait of the princess he's painting. Okay, he's an artist. So that might be a potential other character. I haven't seen an artist. So... in the room of castle. Guest room. Princess. Okay, so we got a potential new character here, an artist of some kind. Can you believe it? Make me live under the same roof as that pervert. It's the Pits. He's a pervert. Wait, which pervert is he talking about? Is he talking about Zell? Tex, are you an artist in this game? I ordered my subordinates to beat up any suspicious-looking people they might see. Princess L'Oreal's room is on top of the other tower. You pretty much want to be like top-down view most of the time when you're inside of buildings, because it's a lot easier than having to turn the damn camera around. But it's so ugly. Yeah, I mean, you're inside of a castle, what do you expect, right? It's not the best looking game. Like I said, this is basically like a Dreamcast era. I mean, this is a Dreamcast game, clearly. Everything screams Dreamcast out of the character looks and everything. I'm sure if the Dreamcast hadn't flopped, this game definitely would be on there. Maybe it would be on both, but... Kill Dugs. Not the Dugs. At least these guys are doing no damage now. They used to be doing pretty heavy damage. Very Grandia looking. Oh yeah. Hey, is there a sign? Oh yeah, fair. Anybody wants to... There's 2 different versions of Dragon Warriors monsters coming up, so there's a poll out, so you can choose which one you want me to play. It's gonna be obvious which one's gonna win, but you know, never know. Because everybody wants to see Kobe's version. Yep, totally. I wonder if I should change my stance. I think balance is still the best until we get some more characters. Alright, let's finish the first floor exploration. Only got another hour before Rummy comes and picks us up. It'll be interesting if we're in the middle of the castle. Still haven't found who gives us the map, if anybody. It's probably like down the basement or one of the top floors or something for the map. Some like, it's probably some dude inside of the dungeon somewhere. It's like, here, I'll give you the map if you get me out of here. And the encounter rate in a supposedly safe castle is kind of high. Just follow the wall here so we don't lose track of which places we've been. Yeah, that's that's where he keeps his sword sheath. It's like one of those swords in the cane kind of things. So nobody expects it, right? But the fact that it's a sentient instrument that he's pulling a sword out isn't weird enough. It kind of makes you wonder if the instrument feels the pain. As if I didn't kill it there. Green AI. Duet in. I'm trying to learn new abilities. I got that jump slash pretty quick, but never figured duet's gonna unlock a new ability. Oh, I was attacking the other dude. And yeah, he's stupid. Instead of killing the dude who's almost dead, he went and attacked the other dude instead. Never fought a Doug monster? I don't know, man. I've met some Dougs. They're pretty monstrous. We don't want to go upstairs. It's locked. Is this like a shop? I don't see any way to get into that chest. Yeah, a lot of the monster names in this are weird. Pendulum, we got like Manchesters, which are like bugs. Death Hyokos, which are like chicks. These little baby chicken things. Which we got a bunch of eggs. Well, I got one extra egg. I wonder what happens. I'm assuming there's 100 eggs. It looked like there was... The highest egg I saw was like 80 something, so... It's probably 100 eggs. I wonder what happens if you find them all. It's like I'm gonna be finding them all in this. Hey, Senpal, how's it going? Bunny. Boony. Chef over there. Alright, got another half an hour before she shows up. Oh, just... Besides her private room in the castle, Harmy has a house in town. Being the royal guard must pay well. Yeah, she's never at her house in town, but maybe at some point... I'm pretty sure I found her house, because there's only one bed. So I'm assuming at some point she'll meet us in the house if we do some, like, we advance some stuff with her, which is what I'm going to be concentrating on in this playthrough, in this timeline. Play through Victor mode in Symphony of the Night? Nice. Good old Symphony of the Night. Best game. Speaking about Rum, you should about to come pick us up here. Okay, this is the artist's room. It's not here, it looks like. We haven't met him yet. Apparently he's a pervert. So we've learned he's a pervert. He's making a portrait of the princess, and that's about all we know about him. We haven't met him. It's about to get interrupted by Rummy. 3, 2, 1. Mouse, what are you doing here? Sir Zell is waiting for you. I will escort you. The top-down view is the only like good view to use inside of the castle or inside of buildings. That way you have to rotate the camera constantly because of the angle. It's horrible. Low-key perverts in my JRPG? It's more likely than you think. I noticed Vagoth didn't even like say hi there. It's Mr. Mouse. Guess we've already seen this cutscene a few times. Now it's stuck in top-down view forever. Like you'd make it, young mouse. Mr. Zell, whatever, blah blah blah, good timing. Princess L'Oreal. Hello, L'Oreal. Ba-ba-boom. Speed this up a bit. He wants to paint houses like one of his French boys. It's funny how her wedding dress shows less skin in her normal attire. Wait, what? We skipped like the entire... Okay, so this time we skipped like the entire, like, scene inside of the inside of the room. Like, we didn't have to play the song, we didn't have to do anything else. Interesting. So even recurring cutscenes do eventually just kind of... It's like, you've seen this a few times. No, well, this is heart stolen by the princess. Can't be helped, really. The princess's beauty doesn't seem to be of this earth. Even Sir Zell has fallen under her spell. Yes, even Sir Zell has... Okay, so let's see if we can... Yeah, so we're finished there at... Let's see if I got the timing right here in my timesheet, in my timeline. So the meeting ends just after 7 o'clock. Yeah, so I have it right. So it looks like we have an hour to... Let's go see if we can get our money. Because, I mean, Zell doesn't give us the cash, and when we go the next day to the place, the public office, whatever. He says like, oh, bands have stolen it or whatever. But maybe if we go right now before you know, they close. Should be a pretty tight run. Let's see if they give us cash. It'd be nice to get, if I got 10,000 bucks, I mean, that's pretty damn nice. Oh, you must be Mr. Mouse. Okay, there we go. Yes. So if you do it on the second day, so yeah, we definitely have like, an hour to get, let's write that in the timeline. Because I'm assuming they close at 8 o'clock when it goes to nighttime, right? Oh yeah, like, at this point, I mean, that scene I've seen like 3 times, so it's just, the scene itself was actually cut down too, which is nice. You don't have to redo the whole scene every time, which is nice. They get you like the time skip option or the speed up option. All right, so 1730. Let's just say get 10k gold at public office. Yeah. This game is all about taking notes. You gotta take a lot of notes. I made myself a whole timeline for if anybody wants to like. Everybody wants to like keep track of the timeline I've been making. Because you need to take a lot of frickin' notes in this, so, and you need to take a lot of notes of when things happen. So I made myself just a whole timeline so I can keep track of all this stuff and when they happen. And alright, so 10k that should help a lot. Jeez, I should be able to upgrade my weapon at least. Let's receive his advance payment. Is there something else I can do for you? I'm pretty sure this place. Well, let's see. Should know the game facts. Let's see if this place closes at 8 o'clock. Because I'm sure so it definitely seems like after 8 o'clock, that's it. You don't. If you wait till the next day, because I came here day 2 twice, and it was like, oh, bandits came and stole the money. So it seems like you definitely have a very limited time. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. So. It depends if you. I mean, this game is very Western RPG style. It's like playing a Might and Magic game or something where you have to take a lot of notes. Obviously, if you're playing a lot of people playing JRPGs tend to have a lot more linear structures. You generally don't have to take a lot of notes. You know, you talk to NPCs every once in a while. They mention something useful, but in general, most JRPGs you never really need to take notes. This is obviously an exception where you have to take a lot of, like a metric buck ton of notes here. It's just ridiculous. It's gonna be fun. Like mapping and cryptic note solving, not a spreadsheet. Yeah, this game is basically a spreadsheet, but I don't know. I enjoy that kind of stuff. So, on the first loop, we met the princess at 5 o'clock in the morning at the castle. I mean, let's go keep casing out the castle. Although, I guess right now if we go, well, let's see if there's any events at night. One thing I want to do too is the... I'll have to see if we can meet up with Rummy at 7. In the first loop at 6 o'clock, we were in our room, and we were told to go see Rummy, who was at the beach at 7:30 in the morning, and then Rena kind of came into the room as well, right at 6 o'clock, right after we left, and she's like, "Oh, he's gone." So, I want to see if we're in our room at 6 o'clock, if Rena will show up and we'll have like an event with her. But I also need to try to make it to the beach by 7:30, which won't happen. So I'll ignore the arena one right now, and I'll try to check that out next time. So I want to be at the beach at 6:30, at 7:30, I should say. Let's see if we get any sort of event or more events with Rummy. So I want to try to get Rummy into our party. This in this one. Let's back off. Fuck with back off. Pretty hard 6 per week is not enough. Play the Song of Time? No. I don't know if there's any way of advancing time or anything other than just, you know, having time advanced by itself. At the end of the 5 days, you're automatically looped back to the beginning of the first day. Even if you don't go to the wedding or not. I tried that last one because it gives us the option of going to the wedding ceremony or not. And no matter what, at midnight, you get looped to the next day. Oh yeah, I want to go speaking of spend this cash. And every time time loops, you lose the money you made, so you definitely want to spend it all before you do a time loop, otherwise, well, just some business at the palace. Alright, so he doesn't speak to us yet. It was the second day that he wanted to speak with us once we met him at the gem ceremony. Every time we see the princess when she attends ceremonies. We rarely see the princess. So you're trying to one up the gunblade. You know it. Play the guitar or slash with it. It's win-win. I could speed up these animations. We're one-shotting those Dugs with just a regular slash now, which is good. And we didn't even upgrade our weapon yet. This is just our leveling up. Yeah, I remember when I first fought these guys and they're doing like 40 frickin' damage or something stupid. Yeah, there was one for cutscenes, but not for combat. Mean will help once I get more characters. Right now, the only other character I can get is like a Death Yoko. So I can turn in these eggs and get some like temporary party members, but I can control them. Obviously, I want to get like the main party members, like Rummy and that. Is the artist dude here? No. Yeah, so it doesn't show up probably till later. What's having room in the palace? Okay. What's this guy doing? Is he drunk? What are you doing here? Me? I'm guarding this spot. I'm not slacking off. Sure, buddy. I thought Rummy's room was, maybe it is, but... her room was on, maybe it was on the second floor. Let's go into the basement, explore the basement. Ark and Magus sister summon, yeah. That's a new dude. Ow, 28 damage. Alex. We fought Doug, now we're fighting Alex. Next thing we know, we're gonna be fighting Bob and Jim. And the Zimmer twins. I don't know. And Duet is pretty strong if you're fighting one-on-one. It's like, here, just paralysis, done. Bob and Jim's too OP. Yeah, they are pretty strong. Gotta be careful with Bob and Jim. Stay down. It's not damage to Rodney. Yeah. Not sure if it's because it's nighttime or because I'm going towards the basement. That is strong. So I don't know what happens if we die. I can't save in here, can I? I can, okay. Save before we go too far and get our asses handed to us. I gotta make sure we get to the castle. I can't leave too far, 'cause I haven't even gone to the castle or to the beach, so maybe I want to kind of make my way there now. 'Cause well, it's not even midnight yet, so we got some time. Maybe at midnight we'll start making our way towards the... There's also an event in the first loop where we met L'Oreal in her room at 5 a.m., but if I do that right now, we're definitely not going to make it to the beach, so... 23, 24, 37, 38, 55, 56, 55. Hey, don't bother me. I'll lose my count here. 1, 6, 3, 8, 9, 45. Let's just follow a wall here so we don't get turned around. Does anybody have a map? This way, Captain. Haven't eaten dinner yet. Wish everyone would hurry up and finish eating. I gotta clean up. Oh god, yeah. Well, you could take some of her money, eh? She can float us like a loan of like, you know, a couple million. She wouldn't even notice it missing. Yep. The mighty Doug. Fear Doug. He shall consume the world. Guys aren't doing a lot of damage, but it adds up. Why is he attacking? Goddamn AI. Freaking AI like attacks two different dudes instead of just finishing off one dude. It's like, let's just go attack the other one now. So we'll just manually control this. Good old capitalism. I was gonna say, where'd the captain go? Was he the dude I thought? How long are you planning to sit in there? It's about time for your rounds. Yeah, I wish I could map this. Well, I could map this place out manually, but did I run this place? No. Got to get better soon, otherwise I won't be able to see her anymore. Who's her? I don't remember where Rummy's room was. Maybe he's in the basement. La 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 la. I gotta pick medicinal plants to help. Can you steal these plants? No. Can't seem to steal anything inside the castle, I noticed. I don't think I've ever picked anything up in here. This is door. No, it just brings us outside. Was this the... Where is this? Where are we? What is things? Suspicious. This thing bloom at some point? Oops. Came all this way, but there's nothing here. Let's write a note. plant in Castle Garden. So maybe a certain day this thing like opens up and do something with it. Medicinal plants, alright. She has to test every single one just to make sure. What's that? It's confusing. Oh, is this the is this where the demon reactor is? No. It's midnight. Can we play a song to L'Oreal? Oh, Juliet. I think this is L'Oreal's tower here. It's annoying rhythm game where you have to hold down the button and strum. It's like Guitar Hero, but on a regular controller, which sucks. Yeah, the notes don't match music, it's just even more confusing. What's this like? What, the rhythm thing? The rhythm thing is horrible. Hey, I got an A rank. I think it's my first time getting an A rank. I'm getting better. No, nothing happened. Didn't summon the princess. Watch this bin Zell's place. Go to the demon reactor. It's rumored the mysterious shadow isn't human has been sighted inside the demon reactor. Of course, no one believes such ridiculous tales, but I'm gonna go so far as the hallway up ahead. Entry to the demon reactor is not permitted. What are you doing here? You can't enter. But I wants to. Yeah. No, I mean, there's a little bit of rhythm stuff, but it's not super common. I don't know how, like, required the rhythm parts are. Like, if you need to absolutely get, like, an A rank at, like, a super tough song to beat the game kind of thing, that would kind of suck. But the problem with the rhythm game is it's not like your standard, you know, just hit the button on the note kind of rhythm game. It's more of like a kind of Guitar Hero where you have to hold down the fret and then strum at the note. So if you have like two notes that are different, close together, or if you have multiple notes, it's just your fingers just get all messed up because you're trying to like hold down the button and strum, and it just Like that first one wasn't hard. The second one is much harder. Like the yeah, I need to start making my way towards that forest if we even have a chance of getting there tonight. Like this second one here, the eternal love thing, is just much harder because you have like double notes. That's very easy to mess up when you're trying to with the control scheme I'm using. I need to hook up a Guitar Hero controller. Ugh. See what I mean? Like when you get like a whole bunch of it's just really hard when you have like really fast moving notes and then you have like the it is horrible. Like it is. I can hook up my Guitar Hero controller to it and use that with the. If I use the D one, it's awkward because you can only strum down with it. I can make it work with the Guitar controller. I've tried it, but it's I don't know. It's awkward any way you look at it. And try and do this on a frickin' analog pad. I somehow got C rank on that one, especially with like the multiple notes and like it's strumming really fast and then the timing isn't quite right and it's just yeah, it's not great. Let's just say. Can I leave the front door here? I wonder. I don't think it lets us. Maybe we can. Yeah. So we'll leave the castle for now. Let's see if we can make it to the beach. So we need to get to that beach. It was at 7:30. Yeah, 7:30 we meet Rummy at the beach on the first loop. So let's see if she's there now. Or she'll be there. And hiding behind that. Actually, before we go there, can we get her weapon leveled up? Forge your weapon? Yes, I do. $3,000 done. 9,000. So we can do the next tier on the next playthrough. Unless we might be able to make that kind of money in this playthrough. Pattimo to like level 5. Streamer is gonna strum. Yeah, you know, even though I don't seem like I'm that good at that game. Like I played a lot of Rock Band and Guitar Hero in my time. I mean, I can usually play expert on the guitar, no problem. At least I used to. Nowadays, probably not so much. But Yeah, I'm decent at rhythm games. Just rhythm games that actually have decent controls. Another slight problem with this one is I'm not playing this like live off the console because of the way that interlacing works in this game and my TV. I tried every setting and I can't get it to not do like the interlacing. Well, you can see it here. So what I have to do is I'm taking the capture from the capture card and playing that onto my TV as if it's just an extra monitor. So I'm actually getting a slight extra delay. It doesn't seem to be that noticeable when playing the rhythm game, but I mean, there's definitely some delay, like extra delay than you would normally have, and there's a pretty noticeable difference. Like I'll show you. So what I normally see on my TV is pretty much the same thing as if I turn YADF on the. So if right now I have deinterlacing on, so this is one of those games you want to have deinterlacing off. It's not super noticeable here, but if you go to the map, for example, so you see like that weird kind of flickering, kind of weird jail bars thing going on the map, on the blue. So you get that everywhere, and that gets annoying as hell. When you're playing, you have that weird kind of like constant like fuzz that's going on. So I just turn deinterlacing off and get a nice solid screen, which is weird. I mean, usually it's the reverse. It's just this game doesn't actually have interlacing. It's not progressive scan either. It's almost like it's like 30 FPS, but it's like 30 FPS, but it like doubles like each frame. It just has the other part of the frame, so it's so it's kind of progressive. It's like 30 FPS progressive scan kind of thing, and when you use the interlacing, it just messes everything up. So yeah, I kind of to capture I have to use my captured stream, which is kind of weird, but it works. And the delay is not super noticeable, but obviously any sort of rhythm stuff is definitely gonna not be the greatest. When stuff is moving fast, especially, it's like forget about it. Alright. Make it up here. Yeah, it's the path up here. It's a freaking maze of a. Alright, so while we're at it, let's see if we can find, because we still got a bunch of time. Still got 4.5 hours before it shows up. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, all the controls are weird. First of all, the controls are like really odd to use. Like the default controls, especially, are like you're using the L2, L1, and the right buttons as your frets, and then you press the circle button to actually strum. Which, I mean, I guess if you get used to it, kind of works, because it's kind of like holding the frets of a guitar. It's just it's awkward as hell for like a rhythm game on something that's you're not playing on a freaking guitar controller. So I don't know. It just messes me up too much. When it's nice, slow, I can kind of do it, but when you get those really fast-moving things, my brain just like freezes up, like which buttons am I trying to hit here, and I just can't switch fast enough. So imagine if I played a lot of it, it'd be different. I would kind of attune to it, but it's not. This isn't really designed. A PS2 controller isn't really designed to do a 3-fret thing really well. Which is why I said the Guitar Hero controller works, but there also seems to be some additional delay with Guitar Hero controller, I've noticed, so it'd take me more. Plus I'd have to like swap it in and out every time I want to play music, which is even more annoying. This just wakes me up if I get hit. Yeah, at least we get woken up. So it's kind of annoying. Stop. God damn it. Should have gone to get a Det Yoko temporarily. Our level went up. So where I want to be, I think it was here that we met her. So I think the shrine is over here. I think we met her here. Maybe here? One of these two. Yep. Wrong section. Yeah. It's weird. He's got a sentient guitar. So the guitar actually, you know, speaks and has an eye and everything. And then he puts his sword inside the guitar. Like, does the guitar is basically, yeah, it's like a sentient instrument. But I don't know if the sentient part is just the bottom of it. Like does it feel it when it goes in? It's when maybe the guitar enjoys it. He sheaths his sword. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, he usually only speaks during cutscenes. But yeah, his guitar is Pattimo. That's the name of his guitar. It's like, pull it out slowly, mouse. Pull it out really slowly. That's it. Alright, enough of that. Let's see if we can find the maps. God damn it. Counter rate. Need more party members so I can get through these encounters faster. I guess we're absolutely wrecking everything right now. It's not your landlord. For some reason I figured that's gonna be clipped. There's a chest right there. The problem with chests in this game is that once you open them up, they just close back up and it's like, oh yeah, I've already opened this one. So you don't really know. I hate games that have like either leave the chest open or, you know, make them disappear. Making disappear is not super realistic, but leave the damn thing open. Roar B has been defeated. I'm hoping that's his tail sticking out of his butt. Maybe the anatomy of these are slightly different. Yeah, we're not getting much XP from these. Some like flowers here or something. Look for secret passages. You pretty much want to be in like top-down view for everything in this game, which sucks because not the prettiest looking thing, but it's the best way of finding secret passages and earth charms up the map. Okay, so the beach isn't here, so it's got to be the lower part. Hey, Franken. The game's not bad. This game's definitely quite playable. It's one of those games you have to take a lot of frickin' notes in, but I don't mind that. I don't mind taking a lot of notes. I mean, I'm keeping that timeline going. Like I've made a whole timeline and taking notes of when certain events happen and where they happen and all that, so I can redo them. And but we'll see after like 50 loops if I get sick of this game. Yeah, at least there's more to do. Nice. Huh. How do we get to the... How do we get to that chunk? I don't see a path. Maybe that chunk isn't accessible. Maybe through the quarry. That's probably what it is. So, probably have to go through the quarry, which I haven't done because, you know, there's enemies, and I figured I don't want to do that unless I have a party. And here, it doesn't look like there's any path, so... So the beach is probably to the north. Oh god, yeah. This game would definitely suck without notes. At that point, you'd probably pull out a guide, because, yeah, you'd be lost completely without it. Oh, I'm sure there's quite a few more songs. You just have to find them. Probably unlock them by doing story things, I'm sure. Evergreen. Found a tree. We found a tree in the forest. Never expected to find that. Use the enemies as flowers, making it easier to surround them. Actually, talking about flowers, I bought... Okay, so it does... So you definitely don't keep everything after when you time loop. So it seems you lose your money and you lose anything that's like not an egg or a... Because I do remember buying a flower, but for the time looped. Figured like, hey, I'll bring it over with me and then I'll be able to sell it. So that's why you keep finding things in chests and that. If you go back to the stuff in town, you'll find some more stuff in town. So amulets, like any sort of accessory you keep, any weapon upgrades I'm assuming you keep, any quest items you keep. Live berries probably reset to, I forget how many you start off with. DH eggs you keep, obviously. Everything else gets wiped when you do a time loop. So... Death Hiyoko. It's like a little chicken thing. There's a dude in town who you bring these eggs to, and you can bring a Death Hiyoko. I should have brought one with me, actually. You can bring them with you as an uncontrollable party member. They're pretty strong, at least the two we had access to. I'm assuming more hatch as either maybe the number of loops goes on or something else happens. Loops are 5 days. So at the end of the 5th day, the time loops to the first day again. Good evil Sephiroth dude here, like, makes them loop. Okay, it's almost 6. Let's go up. See if you can find the map of the upper area. So I imagine any items that you find in chests that's not like an egg or an accessory probably resets. Well, I'm not gonna take notes of what I found where. If I find some like random flower somewhere, it's like whoop-de-doo, right? It depends on how many encounters you have in that. There's the clock up in the top right there, so you can see how fast time advances. But obviously, any encounters you have, any sort of cutscenes. Cutscenes can take a certain amount of time, but I mean, it pauses the game, I guess, when it happens. But then the actual event can happen over the course of a couple hours, so. Yeah, the first time they kind of dump you into the card thing, and I didn't even like go through the I went through the instructions, but I didn't go through the controls. So I'm like, it's like, how the hell do I control this thing? And then after I finally read the instructions, like, I didn't realize it was even like a hold down the thing and strum kind of style. It's very Guitar Hero-esque like that, which is annoying. Rhythm games that use a controller should just be like press the button on the line thing. You shouldn't have to like hold down another button and strum with another button. It's just awkward to do. Party level up. Getting more OP. More OP. Let's see if we can find the map in this area. Okay, so the beach, so this is the beach here. I would probably meet Rummy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was like around here. So I'll meet her at daybreak, or at 7:30. She's there. You have this game, you never beat the game? Yeah, you definitely need to take a lot of notes, but I'm keeping a timeline, so... Hey, Gargummer, how's it going? Yoka means chick, oh yeah? Death chick. Death to all the chicks. There's a lousy sea louse. Another egg. This thing went. There's a lot of places in town I haven't really explored yet. Holy shit. Just making this game makes it sound like your work phone. Keep thinking there's like a new call or a new message or something. Why is there so many dudes? I need like an AoE attack, that's what I need. These guys aren't doing much damage, but it's gonna be a long battle just because there's so many of them. Bubble beam. Sorry, I guess you gave yourself heartburn. What'd you laugh at? Hopefully it was a heartburn, not something worse. Unlock any new abilities. Keep using jump slash, maybe we'll learn something new. I've used slash enough at this point that probably would have unlocked something else if a slash unlocked anything else. Yeah, the fixed... the problem with the fixed one is just too far out. But yeah, at least it's not like just quease-inducing here. Wait, how do I... Why does... So I can put it to fixed. But it's like, let's just zoom out as far as possible here. Like, they could easily tighten this camera angle a little bit and still see, like, the entire arena, you know what I mean? If I could control the camera or something, it'd be better. It's like, I think I can see those pixels hitting that other pixel. There's no, like, static. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that says... There's no camera angle that's just like, alright, don't move around like a million times. I guess the party one is probably... Yeah, party seems to be better in dynamic, at least. What did you miss? Still moves around, but doesn't move around as much. no good camera mode. Exactly. I really love their dynamic cameras. Like if this camera was a little more zoomed in, it'd be perfect. Like I don't think there's any need to be this far back. Maybe if we keep it fixed and then we start a new battle, maybe at that point it'll be more zoomed in. Because I've seen some issues like that where I've switched camera modes and all of a sudden like all the action's happening off screen because the camera's like doesn't know what to do. Super Sea Louse D. It's a very super sea louse. Let's just use jump slashes here for these last couple. $332 damage. Kind of annihilated that one. Yeah, pretty much. Seeing us from like military satellite up in space. Viewing us from like Zell's castle. It's got a telescope at us. There's probably another path up there. Alright, starting a new battle definitely doesn't help the camera situation. So I probably have to come in from here. So go from here to here. So there doesn't seem to be a path here, so let's go back to the forest run. Not much time before she shows up. A.m. shortly. We've got an hour and a half to find out how to get to that beach. Unless with the maybe the beach. Actually, no. The beach is where we were. I'm pretty sure that's where we met Rummy. I guess we should just hang around there. Then she probably took us like around into the gem ceremony. Let's see if she still shows up there. We were sent to Rummy at 6 o'clock is when we were like sent to go see her. And then when we finished talking to her then, it was like 7:30. So I don't know if we have to be there around 6. Well, let's make our way there now. Another Rummy. There we go. Get the best Rummy. Sir Mouse, what are you doing here? You know why I came here, Rummy. You must have gotten gem ceremony time wrong. Well, Innkeeper has quite a temper. Has quite a quick temper. What? That's not it. You already knew that I'd be here swimming at the beach? Came here just to see me? Oh, Mouse, is that your idea of a pickup line? Let's explain about the island's peculiarities. That's impossible. That's impossible that the island's time is circling around endlessly. No, that's totally new. I don't believe it. To think that Zell would cause such a disaster for the islanders. That's impossible. I know that you're Sir Zell's honored guest, but you've gone too far, even for a joke. The gem ceremony starts at 8. Sir Zell has instructed me to escort you, so I'll attend the ceremony with you. I'm going to change. Just wait a moment, please. What we hide behind the rocks? Time is closing. That's impossible. Love how we have a camera behind the rocks now. We get see an up-close view when she changes now. Oh. What an awful idea. For liking women as much as he does, he sure doesn't know how to handle them. Thanks, Pattimo. He's a quick change artist there. Shall we go now? Alright, so we definitely got something new with the scene. Well, it's time for the Holy Gem ceremony. We should proceed to the ceremony area. Think Zell. Look at Xelpherpolis. Like, it's just a confusing ass name. Well, if the gem ceremony is gonna be any different, it's really weird. Time for the dancing zombies. Some diaper zombies. Every time it's just like, let's plop down. It's like, I got the gem, who cares? What a magnificent gem. That's the first time I've seen it. Now, it's probably the third time at least. Hey there, Sir Mouse. Do you have a mint? Psst, psst. Actually, there's something I need to speak to you about. Could I trouble you to come to the palace later? Yeah. Is it 1 o'clock, I think? I'll stop by the palace this afternoon. Please, I'm counting on you. were you and the general talking about? Yes, that was General Bagoth. He's in charge of the soldiers on the island. A tour of the palace? You should have requested I do that. It's my job after all. What do you want, doggo? What do you want? You're making a mess. Fine, I'll come pick you up after noon. No, I'll come pick you up after noon. Is that a better pickup line? Right, so at least we kind of had some sort of change with that the dialogue with Rummy, where she's like, "All right," we kind of explain the situation, but obviously she doesn't believe us. So raid battles. Who needs emergency maintenance? Okay, so let's see if we can find the map of this section. Yep, other people and actually fighting their raids, getting rewards because the battle's already over. That's always fun. Death chickens! The death chickens are coming for me! Alright, so the next event... Yeah, so it was at 1 o'clock was when we met with Bagoth, so I want to make sure we're at the castle by 1 o'clock. Maybe we can go there now and meet with Rummy ahead of time, kind of thing. It's never really been to the castle too much during the day. Wild Stallion? It's probably hurt, maybe? Oh shit. Run? Oh crap. Alright, we're about to see what happens when we die. Luckily we just saved. Allies are destroyed. Should we just get a game over? Or do we time loop again? Yeah, so it looks like you just time loop. Yeah. So if you die, you just return back in day 1. Alright, let's reload here. Of course, there's no friggin' in-game loading option, because why do games... Oh, do you ever need to load a game while you're playing it? Games that don't have that. I wonder if that would have happened the first time we played, like the first loop we died. Well, maybe it would have, but it wouldn't have been obvious. It's like, oh man, we restarted the game. It's like no game over. We're just restarted the game. Or if only starts doing that on second time loop, then you would just had like a game over. Free McBoot. Yeah, if you have a PS2 and not free McBoot, what are you doing? It's kind of like a requirement nowadays with PS2. I mean, I use swap disks anyways if I need to use like a burnt copy of a game or something. So let's say I have a game that fails, or if I need to play PAL games, I'll use swap disks. It's more there just for backup reasons. Well, you can't. I mean, yeah, I guess you can use FreeMcBoot for stuff like playing it off the hard drive. I don't know if FreeMcBoot just lets you play burnt discs. I haven't really looked too much into playing backups with FreeMcBoot. I know you can play off a hard drive, but you know, I have all these games. I have physical versions of every single PS2 RPG, so it's not like I need it. But you know, games fail, discs go bad, so you kind of need a backup. Need to find the map. Magical Girls and Friendship. More TV actresses in a kid-friendly show. I think one's gonna murder me, isn't he? Slightly more painful. It's a colored Death Yoko. Mirror, the other one's colored too. The other ones are yellow. This one's pink. In a video game aimed for guys, they're talking about sex? No. Why am I using Jump Flash here? Jump Slash phase. Learn some new skills. And yeah, I was using Jump Flash. Now, how much health does damn Yoko have? I do the same damage with a regular slash than I do with a Jump Slash, which is odd. Yeah, I'm doing 120 no matter what. Is this guy like a metal slime or something? Like, why is he so freaking tough to kill? Does he run away quickly? I don't think how much damage has that done to this guy? Wait, I'm recovering health. What? I just realized I'm healing him, not hurting him. So I can't do damage. Oh, maybe it's element. Can I change elements in battle? Style... Oh, I can't. Let's get out of here, I guess. Must be the element. Well, I picked those up a while back now, and it's been a few years since I've finished my PS2 collection. Yeah, I mean, the Dot Hack one, I got for like about $120, I think, for the quarantine back then, and Xenosaga wasn't that expensive. It's definitely gone up quite a bit since then, but it wasn't super expensive when I picked it up. Because, I mean, stuff has exploded in pricing recently, so... Back then wasn't too bad. I don't remember exactly how much I paid. I mean, it's been years now. I'm trying to remember where I bought those. I bought a lot of PS2 games from, like, a lot of different sources. So I don't remember if they were on eBay or... So what... So that guy was immune to... Or it was getting healed by wind, so that's what we have right now is a wind-based attack. So let's switch out... So we have the wind gem. Let's try a fire gem. $100. It's probably gone up since then. Like, let's see what it goes for right now, according to Game Eye. I mean, PS2 games haven't gone up as fast as like PS1 games in that recent like last couple months, but they've still gone up quite a bit. Let's see here. Let's switch over to clarify form filter to console PS2. So the most expensive. Let's see. Sort by price. Alright, so most expensive PS2 game, Dot Hack Quarantine, $300 right now. Xenosaga Episode 3 goes for $224 right now. That's the average price. That's per price charting. I don't know if this is my thing set to US or Canadian right now. Yeah, set to Canadian. Set that to US just to make it easier. So yeah, $170 for Xenosaga Episode 3, $230 for Quarantine. Mega 10 games are expensive too. You get Devil Summoner Raito one for like $160, Suikoden 5 for like $130. You know, Wild Arm games are pretty expensive, $142 for 5, $120 for Alter Code F, etc. So a lot of games are over $100 right now on PS2, and you know, like a year ago, there's only like one or two, at least for RPGs. yeah, all my PS2, all the games I have are complete for all the systems. So I am scanning them slowly, a little bit at a time. Usually I'm scanning the games for the manuals for the games that are upcoming. So I just scanned yesterday the manual for how was it called? Okage or Okage or Okage probably. Shadow King. So I'm gonna just scan. Oh yeah, go ahead, Roker. I'd love to see the people's collections. Link away. Is mine. Place here. So these guys have the map to this place. I remember talking to these guys on the first time I was here. I wonder if there's any way to get monsters to listen to you. If I could, I'd walk around town with one by my side. I wonder what's going on at the festival today. If I don't finish my work, I won't be able to attend the festival. $13,000. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sweet, sweet PlayStation games. I wonder if there's a way of exporting from GameEye, because I use GameEye now. Just it's easier to track everything. Plus, you can just like use your phone to scan things. I haven't actually added anything in my PS4 in that. The only thing I've added is like, well, pretty much everything except for the newer consoles. Like I don't have my Vita games in there. Did I put my PSP in there? I did not. So I don't have my Vita, PSP, PS4 games in there yet. I think I've added a few of my Switch, not all of them. Yeah, GameEye is it's a very nice app on the phone, and for your collection, it's very easy because you can just go and when you want to add things to your collection, you just scan the barcode and it'll automatically add it. So it's a super easy way of organizing everything, and you can sort by console. You obviously get updated pricing for your phone, for your collection and all that stuff. You can order, you can get just a report, like just a quick view. I've got like, not counting any stuff on the PS4 or PSP or Vita. We got like about 18,000 in my collection, $18,000. Not that, you know, money matters for this stuff, but it shows me how much money I've spent on them so far. Well, no, I haven't spent that much because stuff has definitely gone up. And things are linked to price charting stuff, so you can just click on a game and you'll see the price charting info. And so I definitely recommend it for collectors. It's the easiest way of like collecting your stuff on your phone. You can export your collection and everything too. Even if I run all the way to the town from here, it takes at least 4 hours. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I've obviously picked up the stuff here before. Found the map. Where's the map? keep that clock all the time in case an event happens and I need to know exactly when it happened. Found another squall nut. I'm sure I found a squall nut here the first time. Do these... If those respawn, that's pretty good. Assuming that you don't lose the buff. If you lose the buff, then that kind of sucks. But if you don't lose the buff, you keep it with you. Which wouldn't make sense if you would. If you remember everything, then you should kind of remember your experience, right? Which it kind of seems like you do, considering your... So that's weird. I'm here to work. Where's Hunter Village? It's in Forest of Hope. It's past the wilderness area off the west side of town. Oops. Cow, I bet you get a lot of milk from it. That would make sense. No. Find the map. The map! Smock lizard? Man, where'd they come up with these damn names? I wonder if these names are just like literal translations from the Japanese versions or what. They're weird as shit. And of course, completely wrong translation. Like, I doubt an enemy would be called Doug. Check a bottle. Grab Palestinians. These guys do a lot of freaking damage, don't they? Okay, they die fast though. They hit like a tank. Yeah, backlogs are painful too. I think most of us have big enough backlogs that we probably won't be finishing anytime in the foreseeable future. So many games. I gotta make my way to the castle there. Guess what? 1 o'clock is when that... God damn it. Oh shit, I forgot to use the berry. Okay, good. No, shit. At least the first one missed us, so we're still gonna survive. Unless we miss. Well, oh shit. Or, we don't do enough damage. But either way, it looks like we went first, so 3 health. No dying, please. And they barely give experience too, like that's not even worth it. God, I hate the controls in this game. Just hadn't pressed the square button twice, go into the menu, and then it takes off your clock, and then the freaking camera system, just everything. Let's go to the... How do we even get back to town? Actually, it's this way. Hey Brendo, how's it going? North to the farms, northwest to Woodcutter's village, northeast to Sea Ruin, south to town, Forest Ruin. Okay, let's ignore everything and just make our way to the castle here. Gonna make a beeline to the castle if we're gonna get there in time. Especially with these goddamn stallions kicking my ass. It has. That's what you've been up to. Some awesome games. Run! It's a cliff, apparently. Fire tram. Nice, that was a map. I don't think I'm gonna make it to the castle in time. I don't even know how to get back to the castle. Oh, that sucks. Hopefully everything's better now, though. Everything's fine now, hopefully. Attacking that guy. Attack the one who's about the AI in this game. It's like attack the dude who did 1 damage to me instead of attacking the dude who does like 20 something. Take controls in the AI. I'm definitely not gonna make it to the castle for 1 o'clock. This is the map. Although, Rummy did mention she was going to come pick us up, but maybe she'll come pick us up here. Power nut. More power, mower. Good. Now we're to get to the castle. Not gonna happen. Run! I won't even make it to town in an hour. Jeez. Alright, finally back in town. Go, go, go. Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm gonna make it. So let's see if she comes picks us up, or if we just missed the event. You did say afternoon, but I mean, on the first loop it happened around 1 p.m. That's when the actual event happened. So we're about to find out in a couple seconds. It's point okay. So it teleports us there no matter what. It's good. But we probably pissed her off because, oh, Rummy looks like she's in a foul mood again. Because we left her waiting. No, so you really don't approve of me, do you? It's so difficult to find you, so I decided to wait for you here. We'll get a tour of the palace, as you have requested. Unfortunately, I will be accompanying you to afterwards. I feel sorry for the guy she falls for. Yes, I'm sure souring her mood probably doesn't help things. With her coming into our team this playthrough, or this time loop. Sir Mose, I've been waiting your arrival. I apologize for my rudeness earlier. My name is Bagoth. I'm in charge of the island's troops. Oh yes, Honorable Rummy, I forgot to have something prepared. I'm sorry, but do you think you could bring us something cold to drink? Yes, of course. But don't try to scoop me, alright? Sweating Mouse is my job, after all. Haha, can't compete with that. She's always like that. Ever since I spoke to you, I've been getting criticized. Why'd you have to go take over, they say. I'm gonna get in trouble again, but... Sir Mouse, come this way. Darn. We should tell her that, hey, he's gonna take us away. Maybe she'll believe that we're doing time with things. Sephiroth, Mr. JRPG with 2 months! How's it going, Mr. JRPG? Thank you so much for the hype. Thanks for the continued support. Welcome to this game. This game is fun. It's so fun, I gotta make an Excel spreadsheet to figure out what's going on. So what do you think? Do you like this island of Pandul? I love this island with all my heart. I don't believe it's blessed, but it's filled with the kind of simple charm that can cleanse souls. I mean, imagine Bagoth will probably join us this time, maybe. Well, it's enjoyable. I don't mind taking all these notes. I mean, I built myself a timeline so I can keep track of everything. So it's a lot easier to figure out, you know, when certain events are going to happen and so on and so forth. But I can see that this not being everybody's cup of tea, so I can see why it doesn't get that much love. But it's pretty good so far. But I have this feeling I can't shake, this feeling that something is amiss, that something horrific is going to occur. I live each day haunted by such thoughts. In fact, I can no longer tolerate it. It seems like Vagoth would probably be relatively easy to get into our party. Considering he seems to be like... it's like something weird is going on. I'm sure we're going to tell him, like, hey, yeah, time loop's happening. You may laugh, but on my own I have been secretly trying to figure out the source of this unease. I've been conducting investigations all over the island. And while monsters appear here and there on the island, it is peaceful otherwise. It could just be deluded. Besides, I can't recall when this fear erupted, but it's so definite. I've had this feeling of unease for years. Telling you this makes me a little uncomfortable, Sir Mouse. After all, you are a guest of the royal family. But I can't help it. After seeing you yesterday, I started thinking. You are a very wise person, and you can look objectively at the island and the islanders. So I'd like you to give me your honest opinion. Could it be that I'm crazy? Yes, you are crazy. Really? Does that mean that you, sir, also feel there is something amiss as well? Really? What a relief. It wasn't just some illusion. We're Alright, tell him about the time loop now. I don't remember the exact... how this cutscene happened. Okay, so I guess, yeah, now we spoke the truth about everything. What? What did you say? The island's time is closing. You say the ringleader is Sir Zell? Sir Mouse. I don't mean to be rude, but I do not believe it. Hey, Johnny Beard, how's it going? It's true. What you're telling me does coincide with some of my premonitions. I myself have been plagued with the feeling that I've been living the same days over and over for years. But I've heard that it's common for people who are extremely tired to feel this way. However, that Sir Zell is the root of a variety of evils. No, I don't believe it. Sir Mouse, at first I wanted to identify and stop whatever is causing these sensations of fear. But there's no need to do that, so let's stop. Please forget everything I've said as well. So it seems like we're kind of... like, they're obviously not believing us, so maybe we have to go through a few loops and then eventually, you know, we find more information to tell them about themselves. Maybe we'll learn more about them. Then like, hey, yeah, first time we met, but here's all your entire life stories. Like, how do you know all this? And then, you know... yeah, he's there's a lot of silent letters in his name. A lot of silent PHs and E's, and it's a very complex name that his parents gave him. Well, yes and no. Your guitar lute thing actually has, it's one of those like sword cane kind of things. So you pull your sword out of the guitar, who's obviously sentient, as you can see his eyes blinking in the back there. So he's a sentient guitar. There is kind of Guitar Hero segments as well, where you have to do some like rhythm stuff, which kind of sucks for the controls that this game has, but you know. I want you to understand, I'm the general of this country, and Sir Zell is my master. No matter how highly esteemed you are, I won't suspect my master. That's final. It didn't work, huh? It's admirable and one so loyal, but wouldn't it have helped if you had offered some kind of proof? You could watch a loop and then foretell something you know. Yeah, that's what I figured. We know. For example, how about telling him that he will die in a reactor explosion accident on the 4th day? Oh, if he gets it after he's dead, it's too late. Yeah, so obviously that's what we gotta do with him and Rummy, is try to find some events that happen shortly after this, but what do you plan to do? So obviously we gotta, like, stick around them and... Hey, did you see Mouse? Darn, how dare he? He always blows off my tours. I wonder if he enjoys insulting me like this. Pissing off poor Rummy over there. So she'll invite us to the restaurant at 5 o'clock. But let's see if we can talk to her before then. No, he's just... I mean, he basically speaks for the silent protagonist, right? And it's not like one of those telepathic things that only, you know, Mouse hears him, because other people actually do hear him. So luckily it's not as annoying. So where are we right now? And we still have to find the, so we're on floor 2, right? We still have to find the map palace. If there even is one. Well, I'm sure there is one. But that'd be an interesting emulator issue, because I'm playing this on a PS2 with the original discs, so it's kind of impossible for it to be an emulation issue. Unless the PS2 is emulating itself very poorly. But no, it's, when you're in the castle, you're finding kind of enemies, I guess alternate dimension enemies, because obviously these guys aren't hanging around the castle normally. Yeah, it's kind of teeming with guards. They're just, it's kind of like dream creatures or something. So that's why everything's pink. I'm not sure if they really explained. I mean, when we first encountered one, we were like, what's going on? Why are these things attacking us? But they didn't really explain why. But there is this whole demon reactor thing going on, so maybe they're causing demons to show up. It's not an Xbox One, yeah. That'd be pretty impressive if the PS2 can emulate a PS2. That'd be kind of impossible. I'm pretty sure you can't have a system emulate itself. It wouldn't be powerful enough to do that. What else up here? Like, how powerful is the system do you need to emulate something? Like something that's at least, you know, like 5 times the power or something. Why is everything faster than me? Most pointless features. There's a lot of pointless features when they announce new systems. Although the announcements for the new Xbox kind of seem interesting. Like, can't you, like, rent one now? Not necessarily rent, but you've got, like, that... You can do, like, a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of a rent-to-own kind of thing. Has Sony announced anything? I mean, Xbox now kind of officially announced their pricing and their release date. Has Sony even announced anything yet? You figure at that point Sony would be like, alright, Xbox finally announced their date and time, now we can do that too. Because you know the other one... Each company was kind of waiting for the other company to announce it first before they announced theirs. Shit. Stun him. Maybe Sony is like trying to adjust the prices and stuff like that. Because as soon as one announces, the other one wants to try to one-up them, right? So... So Sony's gonna be like, alright, our pricing for like top line one is $359 or $349.99. It's $50 cheaper than the Xbox One. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd pull something like that. Be willing to take like a hit in order to, you know, upstage them, kind of thing. This is why, I mean, it's the first time I've seen it take so long to even announce anything. It's coming out this holiday season, and even up to this point, like, we're like 2 months away from the holiday season, and Still haven't announced like an official release date yet. Like, what the hell? This room's up here. You're not permitted to go in there. Why not? The wedding princess retired to private room. Won't come out nor should see anyone. Wedding princess retired. Okay. Yeah, no, Nintendo's not gonna be announced. It's not gonna be releasing anything soon. Nintendo's always like off. They're always like off kilter when it comes to, you know, generations. They're always like a generation behind or whatever. Yeah, like for me, like I'm not worried about the new consoles. It's probably gonna be the first time. It's probably the first time in like a long time they haven't actually. That I'm not gonna be picking one up, you know, day one or whatever. Or during the launch cycle. I might wait till the second version comes out, PS5 Pro or whatever. There's nothing I'm like looking forward to playing on it. I mean, hell, I barely touch my PS4 as it is, especially with RPG Quest. I mean, I'm playing most of these games on older systems, so it is no need for it. Not right away. So I'll either wait for a price drop or a second variation. Level up, level up. Those encounters kind of throw off my, like... It's like, where was I going? Oh yeah, definitely. It's a lot of dudes. Oh yeah, like Xbox, I never picked up an Xbox One. The last Xbox was Xbox 360 because there's just, like you said, there's nothing exclusive. There's no RPGs that are exclusive to those systems. Especially after they canceled Scalebound. It's like the only one that might have potentially gotten me to pick up an Xbox One. And I was like, it's canceled. Alright, don't have to worry about that anymore. See, to skip one, yeah, exactly. Until they release, you know, exclusive. I mean, I do like Xbox's, you know, whole system. Yeah, like the whole Xbox. What I'm looking for here, like the Xbox Pass kind of thing, but there's nothing I'm interested in. I'm not interested with modern games. There's just nothing really. No modern games that really interest me that much, so. Exactly. In terms of exclusives, I definitely prefer the Sony Nintendo ones over Xbox. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like most of the games you can get that are console exclusives on Xbox are also available on PC. So if you've got a decent gaming PC, then you basically don't have a need. Except for extremely few, you know, exclusives. Like I'm assuming stuff like Forza wouldn't be on PC. So if you're into that, maybe, but... But I am not. You're on PC? Ouch. It's 5 o'clock. Darn, I wish you'd give me a break. I don't care you're a special guest. I'm getting really mad. You're enjoying making fun of me this, aren't you? Sir Mass, I want you to listen to me this time. I've been instructed by Sir Zell to invite you to dinner this evening. Reservations restaurant for 1930. We'll be waiting you there, so you be sure to come. You must come. Yeah, I guess we're definitely not getting Rummy too happy this time. Seem to be standing her up too often. I'm still trying to explore this place. I need to find the map of the castle. That's what I need to find. Yeah, exactly. Which is fine, right? That's another reason why I never even thought about picking up an Xbox Xbox One, because if I want to play those games, I play them on PC. So, it's fine with me. You have to play some solitaire with a real deck of cards. Yeah, no. Good try, Mouse. Good try. Well, for exclusives, that's about the only thing. You want a Nintendo console and a Sony console. You want those exclusives. That's about it. Because those ones very rarely make it to PC. If they do, they're definitely many, many years later. Like I said, real deck of cards. Like anybody has a real deck of cards around. Yeah, that's exactly right, Unhinder. Here you have a bunch of games to play. It's like, I already have like a million other ones. I mean, it's good for people who, you know, pick up an Xbox One and are interested in modern games, sure. But for most of us, like, we're definitely not the audience that's kind of, that's geared towards. So, that's the thing. Where are general back office now? Go makes his round. Okay. Back on the first floor. Let's go down to the basement. These guys are doing a lot less damage now. Wait, do we have magic? Where do we get magic? Let's remove the brilliant light. We have magic now, I didn't even realize. Alex's vision is poor. That lasted long. Gonna be watching projects, yeah. It's another backlog that I haven't had a chance to really watch a lot of anime recently. It's just, I guess that point where you pretty much need to split yourself in two. You need to clone yourself so you can do everything. When it comes to, like, you know, like, combine like work plus, you know, different games plus anime and like everything else. Just, oh god, it's just too much. You take a couple months vacation to catch up on everything. Yeah, I mean, this is some good stuff. Like when I picked up my, I think it came with my video card. There was Game Pass for like 3 months or something like that. Yeah, I played some stuff like Outer Worlds and stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely some pretty good games that were available on Game Pass. But yeah, it's definitely all those things, you know, you play for a bit and then you're alright. I tried everything out. Close to 100 people in file stuff at the moment. All the cooking and festivities in the past few days has been crazy. Despite all the food in the palace. We'll be down to the last drop of alcohol. Yeah, I should be making my way to the... Probably won't make it in time. Gotta make my way to the restaurant. Exactly. Too much time. We just need to not sleep, that's all. Just sleeping is not a requirement anymore. I'm pretty sure I've like lost all my chances to rummy. Seems to piss her off a little too much there. I should know this path so I can go to off the top down view. Yep. Sucks. Got an hour left. This way. Is that a big backlog? Keep fast helps you focus. Yeah, is that too, right? I mean, you have like that. It's like, oh, it's only available for limited time, so you know, let's play it now, kind of thing. So that helps a little bit, I guess. Also on the Retro Games Online store. Nice. We're a little early. We're an hour early. Damn it. Came too fast. Had plenty of time. God, this control scheme. Still can't get used to the control scheme in this game. Controls make no sense in this. Testing games you have to sell, yeah. No worries. Deja vu's when you had this very same experience before. Sometimes when people are tired. There's a lot of people saying things like this. Got a simple question. Why are there so many of these DH eggs all over town? Because we need to collect them all. Hey, Musty. Oreos. I don't even know if I have any Oreos. Probably have some somewhere. There's old, crusty ones left over. It's in the back of a shelf somewhere. Probably well past expiry date. So we didn't really create any new events yet. This loop. We've been redoing some events. Day 3 is the biggest empty block for me. There's a Holy Crown ceremony supposed to happen, but Day 3 definitely seems to be the one that we're missing the most on. So we'll try to explore the castle quite a bit in Day 3. Waited too long. Position, Mr. Mouse. Miss Rummy is waiting for you. Not a fan of Oreos. Good, you came. So I wonder if, I mean, we've had this conversation many times. Maybe now we could, like, convince her to join us, because, like, hey, yeah, you know, this is exactly what you're gonna say, kind of thing. Maybe we should have been taking notes so she, like, quizzes us, and then we can, like, we rented out the entire restaurant, blah, blah, blah. What's wrong? Your pace is a bit slow, Mr. Mouse. Hey, you need better grammar there, Rummy. Mr. Mouse, are you listening? I didn't know her drinking was this bad. Excuse me, did you say something? I don't remember this scene, so this is different. Alright, bottoms up on this one. Bottoms up. What? I guess I know why she's called Rummy now. You can't. She shouldn't be saying that. One word from me and you could be dead. Shall I inform the royal household that you have been calling Sir Zell the leader of this island an evil apparition? He will definitely be sentenced to death. Rummy's living up to her nickname. Maybe her actual name's Rumpelstiltskin. They just nicknamed her Rummy. Now, hurry up. You're a man, so down it. Just down it. Sir Zell can drink a bottle of the strongest alcohol, and his coloring doesn't change his shade. That's right, Sir Zell. This time she's a sobbing drunk. Your talk with her this morning must have had an effect. I'm so sorry. I let my guard down a little too much. Yeah, the guitar, yeah. But a two-head guitar would be really weird. This is so embarrassing. Sir Mouse, what do you think of me? Think you look good in a bikini? Am I unattractive to you? Less attractive than the princess? Yes, you're unattractive. Get out of my face. No? Oh, you liar. The truth is, you mouse, like the princess too. In the same situation as me. You're like someone who's out of your reach. Alright, let's drink the night until we pass out. Listen to your every worry. Bartender, bring us 5 more glasses of wine. It's probably a little weird. And they worked hard on the jiggle physics in this one. Well, this is it. Here's my room. Okay, we're bringing her to her house now. I like where this is going. Sorry about last night. I'm so embarrassed you saw that side of me. But drinking and blowing off steam like that made me feel so much better. Thanks, Mouse. After I rest a bit, I'll go to the castle. If you need me for anything, don't hesitate to call on me. She gonna invite us in? Mr. Mouse, if you really can, tell what's going to happen next, aw. Oh, nothing. Never mind. Alright, so definitely seeing some changes this loop at least. So, we're definitely advancing some stuff. Now, this probably happens to happen every time. Next loop, probably have to like convince her again kind of thing, but so we're making progress. Please, stop me. Yes, before she tries to poison what's-her-face. So I wonder if, because she tries to poison, let's see, that's the banquet. I think that's on day 3, right? No, it's not day 3, it's day 4, the banquet. So she tries to kill the princess at 8 p.m. I put that at the wrong time. I put that at 8 a.m. for some reason in my... I gotta change that, 1 second. Oops. It's at 8 p.m. that happened, not 8 a.m. Hey, Reg. Adventures, Mr. Mouse. It's going well. Gotta fix up my entire sheet here. Oops, put one below. No. Cancel. Cancel. It's like looking at my time sheet, like, whoops, I made a mistake. Go. That row. Okay, perfect. Alright, fix my timesheet. For my timeline. Okay, so yeah, it's 8 p.m. They show on day 4, so we need to stop her before that happens. So on day 3, so we're day 3 now. I'm assuming that's 6 a.m. right now. So there's that Holy Crown ceremony is supposed to happen. Probably around noon, because Pattimo mentioned in Loop 2, Pattimo mentioned at 11:30 it was going to happen. We didn't get teleported there. It's supposed to happen in the Forest Shrine, which is probably the one just outside of town. Okay, ready for work? Nice. Well, I'm sure if you come in like a couple hours, it'll look exactly the same. It's like, hey, this looks familiar. Okay, so that's her house there? Okay, so this one's not even close to the harbor. Our house is supposed to be next to the harbor. This is not even close. We're about as far from the harbor as possible. So those NPCs that mentioned her house is near the harbor were completely wrong. That's probably why maybe it's locked. Okay. So let's see. One thing that does happen on day 3 is that in the afternoon, Rena starts dancing in the middle here. Let's go to the... I haven't been to the inn in a while. I don't want to try to work on like Rena, but I definitely a couple events I want to check out with her. One that was on day 2 at 6 o'clock in the morning. She shows up in our room in the first loop, but we were gone because we went to go see Rummy, so we need to be there day 2 at 6 a.m. Alright, no events happen when we come in. Any other deliveries? Oh, something's happened. Hey, welcome home. Looks like you didn't spend last night in your room, you sneaky. It'd be best if you didn't camp out just anywhere. Not all the islanders are decent people. But just last night, bandits attacked someone on the outskirts of town. Bandits have their hideout in the northern part of the forest. Every so often they'll come into town and wreak havoc. But now, with the wedding festivities, they're much more active. They're a violent bunch, so you best be careful. Oh, something's gonna happen with Rena. Ah! Okay, so what time is this now? I did! I found you, Mr. Musician! I found you just in time! Okay, so day 3... It was like 6:30-ish, maybe? About 3... We'll see what happens here. So Rena... Oh, I'm definitely taking notes. There's the there's my current timeline if you're interested. Let this one grow a little. Yeah. Definitely not one of the waifus. I'll say that much. It's a little underdeveloped. I'm begging you, Mr. Musician. My father hasn't given me any chores to do today, so please let me show you the island this afternoon. Okay, so that's an event. I was selected to be one of the dancers' wedding ceremony. It's customary for the dancers to dance for 3 days and 3 nights. It's so strenuous, people have been known to die from it. So this may be my last day of free time. Yeah, I know, you started like this evening. Okay, so definitely have something with Rinna. So I'm not worried about Rinna too much right now. I want to concentrate on Rummy and Dagoth, but I guess we're stuck in this scene now. Cloud does not exist, huh? Yeah, seems fine to me. Are you trying to open it up on mobile, or because on mobile it probably has weird issues because it's mobile. Weird. I haven't tried it on mobile. Export to PDF. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's just the website. I mean, it's not complete yet because it's basically going to be changing over time, right? As I do these events. That'd be ridiculous. That happened hundreds of years ago. Now 5 people take turns dancing, so no one's going to die. But she's there all day and all night. What are you doing, talking as if from some kind of devil or something? Oh, no, but it's really very exhausting. That's why this afternoon, it's my only chance. Please, could you spare a little of your time just for me? Well, I guess let's see how this pans out. Alright, yippee! Thanks, Mr. Musician. Is she gonna bring us to the FBI? So we got like a tour. Town tour with Rinna at Inn. I don't know how long it's going to take, but... Handful of done. 12-hour stream. Pulling some big streams. What else is down in this palace? I'm sure you've already been here, right? Left-hand tower is where Princess L'Oreal lives, and the right-hand tower is where Zell lives. There's a shrine in the back of the palace. It's where the wedding will be held. I bet it's going to be incredible. Very flat bird. This is the place where we're going to be dancing starting today. After we dance for 3 days and 3 nights, we're going to remove the cloth that covers the statue of Sir Zell. Yeah. Zell, I'm just gonna... Xelpherpolis there, like, screw that name. As soon as I first saw it, it's like, alright, he's Zell from now on. I know the park is really small and doesn't have much in it, but it's very popular with the girls. When 2 people come here together, they'll fall madly in love with each other. So I gotta bring Rummy here? What are you saying? Hehe. I'm here along with you, Mr. Musician. Okay, no. 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 This area here is where all the rich people live. That's why there's so many nice houses. Being the innkeeper's daughter isn't bad, but I'm sure it'd be nice to live in a house like this too. This building is the Information Research Building. Because I hate doing homework, I never come here, but if there's anything you want to know about the island, come here. You should be able to find the answers to most questions. Or no answers at all, because they're absolutely useless in there. You found phase 7. Well, they had... One of the biggest improvements this game could have had is to have an in-game kind of schedule or timesheet thing, some in-game timeline. Like if it actually recorded events in an in-game like calendar, and then you'd be able to just see those without having to, you know, write them down. I mean, that would be a major plus. People probably would have loved that, right? But not as, I mean, the game does kind of send you to events kind of automatically at some points, but you know, that would be a major boon right there if they just added that one, I mean, relatively small thing, just in-game timeline thing. Like make it so it doesn't show up during the first time there, but yeah, that would help a lot. Remote server. Yeah, it just means you have to wait a minute. Usually Nightbot's refreshing or whatever. I come here all that much. I never expected the bird statue much. That's a really ugly bird statue. The bird looks like it's glaring at you. That's a bird. Looks like somebody just threw a rock on top of another rock. So if whoever made that didn't make the statue of Sir Zell. It's probably going to take a big chunk of time. That's probably why there was no events in the first chunk of day 3 because of this. I should just love the smell of freshly cut wood. All the furniture used in town, as well as lots of other things, are made here. Some woodcutters live on a cliff upriver from here. They pull the trees down the river from there. Yeah, the music is pretty good. I've always wanted to go to Woodcutter's village. My father won't let me. This is a woodcutter village. Mouse? I'm sorry, I looked at the register and saw your name. I can't call you Mr. Musician forever, so do you mind if I call you by your first name? Thank you so much for everything today. Now I'm going to take you someplace really nice to show you my gratitude. Oh god, no. I've saved the best place for last. It's my secret... Oh god, no. My secret place, don't tell anybody about it. Alright, no. Can we, like, say no to this? I don't want to go to Marina's secret place. That sounds very, very bad. Maybe like a bunch of cops hiding around the corner. Why don't you go and tell anyone else about it either? Of course they did. Great, we're alone in the woods. Mouse, over here. No. It's a bad idea, Mouse. Why are you following her? You can get through here. Doggo, please. This is it. See? Isn't it beautiful? It's my favorite place. I think I've been to this place. It's in the forest. It's near the forest shrine. Whenever something awful happens or I feel bad, I come here. I hang out and sing songs. For some reason, I start to feel better. Oh, gonna learn a new song. Alright, let's do some singing. Oh god. This is a really bad start. Oh god. This is not possible. How the hell are you supposed to do this song? god, why is this so bad? Okay, screw this. This is impossible. Like they're so fast. Like this is not possible to do. This is not humanly possible to do this. Like that is absolutely impossible. Like that was not. There's no way someone can humanly play that song. I'm sorry, but no, that is not humanly possible to do. You think guitar freaks peripheral, pretty much. I got my guitar controller. It does work with this game, but you have to like swap the controller out, and you have to use like a different controller mechanism. But there is no way. Like that is just no. Like how the hell are you supposed to do that one? Like let's put a bunch of notes really close together where they're constantly switching. Like what? No, an arcade stick would be absolutely garbage on this reg. The way this works is very similar to Guitar Hero. You have to hold down the fret and then strum. So you have to constantly be changing. You have to constantly be changing notes and strumming at the same time. Try to do that on a PS2 controller. It's just not possible. Never got an A. Yeah. Totally astonishing. I've never heard any music like that before. It's what you call progressive music. Yeah. I mean, the part that people don't understand is what's so amazing, right? I don't really get it, but now I can brag to all my friends that I was the first one to hear it. First and last, probably. It's the Holy Crown ceremony. Okay, so this unlocks, or lets us do the Holy Crown ceremony as well. I didn't realize it was so nearby. Let's go check it out, Mouse. This thing gets slapped. Okay, so the town tour is obviously like all the way till noonish. This game's horrible. Like, holy shit, that song was like absolutely impossible to do. Like, I'm sorry. Even if I practice that one a lot with the controllers, like I'll go get my Guitar Hero controller, see if I can somehow do it slightly better. But it's awkward to do on the Guitar Hero controller because you have to hold like different frets than you normally would. You can only strum down, you can't strum up because there's only one button that actually is strum in this. But I did try it, and it does work with the D-style control scheme. But my god. So you're dying. How dare you? Sure is trying to be good. This is so beautiful. I admire her so much. There was something very cold and distant about her. Maybe she wasn't feeling well or something. Alright, so the ceremony ended at 15, right? So 1:15, let's say. Yeah, it's probably 1:15. Alright, I'll be back in just a minute, guys. Just gotta do one thing real quick.